What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium, and it sucks to be a Leafs fan, doesn't it? The Leafs core of Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Morgan Rielly are 0-10 in games in which they could advance to the second round of the NHL playoffs. Now, the bet I made yesterday, I mentioned in the video, it was a homer bet. If you want to bet against it, the smart bet honestly was Tampa. Just winning 4 straight games in the playoffs is difficult, which the Leafs would have done if they advanced last night. But they didn't, and they never were really even all that close. So we go again on Saturday, and it's the same old song and dance. Up 3-2. Do they lose game 6 to go back home and lose game 7? It is hard. And like I mentioned, 0-10. Matthews, Marner, Rielly. Tavares is 1-6, but the one win came when he was with the Islanders in terms of advancing to the second round. So difficult night there, but we had an okay night overall, especially if you follow my added picks that I post on my Twitter account at Tyler Conium, which I mention all the time. I just want to reiterate too. So I do 3 picks here each and every day. Well, most days. 3 picks with breakdown of why I'm betting them. I make these bets the night before, so the lines might be tricky. It's hard doing the betting because it's creating content, right? So goalies might change, things might change. So I always say, follow me on Twitter where I'll post more picks throughout the day for my full card. I post the breakdown for the 3. It's sort of like, okay, I hopefully trust this guy and what he's talking about. And I don't care if you trust the bets that I'm making. Feel free to bet on the other side. I'm just giving you what the trends and the stats and what the research is. And then I do the same thing for the other bets that I make throughout the day too, and I put them on my social media, I put them on the Instagram, I put them on Twitter. So if you do follow those, so obviously here we had the Rangers money line, that lost. We had the Leafs, that lost. We had the Celtics minus 6.5, and then I also live bet that because I was starting to get very worried in the fourth quarter of that game that the Hawks were keeping it very close. So I was actually able to win 2 units on that single game because I bet the Boston Celtics minus 2 live late in the fourth quarter. I think with 3 minutes left and it was tied. I bet the Celtics minus 2. They ended up winning by 8. So that covered both bets. Had the Minnesota Twins on the run line. They won 7-1. That was plus 110. And then I had a plus 110 parlay that was Shohei Ohtani over 6.5 strikeouts. He had 11. Mike Trout to get a hit and the Angels to win. So overall, here on this video, it was an even day, but if you follow me on Twitter, it was plus 2 units. So that's why I always say I use this as a vehicle to say, A, it's interactive and it's fun and we can discuss it and all of that, but I do post more picks on Twitter as well to see if you like those. So I don't take those into account for this record unless I specifically say like, hey, this directly affects the bet that I made. But anyways, I digress. Fun night of sports regardless. Actually, it wasn't that fun of a night of sports, to be honest. NFL draft was interesting. I didn't have any NFL draft bets because it was bananas, and I would have probably lost all of those anyways. Very cool to see 3 black quarterbacks taken within the first 5 picks. First time that's ever happened, so that's really cool. But we're sort of back to normal today. There's a lot more hockey. There's 2 NBA games as we're coming close to the end of the first round in all of these sports, and it feels like we've been in there for a while, but let's start with the bets. Shut up and talk about the bets. LA Lakers minus 4 is minus 105 at Pinnacle Sports. I'm on that tonight. I think the Lakers close out this series. Look, the Lakers have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and I've said the whole time, you cannot bet against LeBron James and you cannot bet against Anthony Davis. I don't care that Ja Morant's on the other side. I don't care that Desmond Bane is on the other side. The whole Dylan Brooks fiasco, it just did not work out. He's been trash in this series. It's done nothing but motivate LeBron James. It's done nothing but motivate the Lakers. I think that was a really stupid move by Dylan Brooks. And I do think the Lakers will close out this series tonight, and I do look for them to cover. So they're coming off a 116-99 loss. That game was at Memphis. This one is back at home at Crypto.com Arena. They last won by 6 points. That was in overtime. Before that, they'd won by 10, 111-101. Their loss was by 10, and then their win in game 1 was by 16. So every time they've won in this series, they have covered. It's only 4 points, so there's also push potential. Even if this game goes to overtime, I think minus 4 is a good bet too. I just think the Lakers are not going to mess around, and LeBron has got the experience. Davis has the experience. The Grizzlies are still a little bit of a young team. Morant's playing sort of very risky, high-risk basketball that's already gotten him in trouble with a hand injury. And I just think the Lakers are going to be steady Eddie. I think they're going to be able to win this game. I think they're going to be able to outcoach the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm taking the LA Lakers -4. That's -105 at Pinnacle Sports. The next bet as we shift to the National Hockey League is the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. This line has gone up and down just in the last hour. I made this bet last night. It's gone to -120. It's gone to -140. It's gone back to -120. I'm taking under in the Stars and the Wild, under 5.5. It's -130 at DraftKings. It is juicy, but these are two under teams in the regular season, and they've been two under teams in the playoffs as well. So Game 2 was the one game where it was 7-3 for Dallas, which was wild. There were 10 goals, but other than that, they've gone under 5.5, under 5.5, under 5.5, under 5.5. Most recently, a 4-0 Dallas win. I think the Dallas Stars do win this hockey game. I think they win this series tonight in 6 games, but this game is being played in Minnesota, so this could very easily be a 1-0, a 2-1, a 2-0 game, which I think favors the under quite a bit. I know that it is juicy, but again, you've got two guys in net that are going to really want to shut the door. The fact that, again, this game is being played on the road by Dallas, they're not going to run away with it, and they're two under teams during the regular season. And I just think that trend is going to continue. The under is 9-2 in the last 11 meetings between these two teams, and now that you're getting into elimination games, and the Wild are a good team. So once you get into elimination, the team that's about to be eliminated is at home, and they're a good team, and they're an under team. I look for this to be a very defensive matchup, so I'm taking under 5.5. That's -130 at DraftKings. Be sure to shop around because, like I said, I've seen this at 120. I've seen this at 140. So shop around and get the best line possible. And our last bet of the day, we're shifting to the Major League Baseball. I'm about to say Major League Baseball Association. It doesn't make any sense. The theme of today also is just sort of keeping it simple. We went on this 14-1 run last week, and then sort of getting complicated with some certain different things and plus money things. I'm just going to look at this and go, this is what makes sense, and this is what I'm rolling with. So taking the Toronto Blue Jays here on the money line. They are -115 to beat the Seattle Mariners. Mariners are underachieving a little bit this year. They're 11-13. They're 4-4 on the road. Jays have been great. They're 16-9. They're 7-2 at home. And interestingly enough, you could argue their worst starter has been Alek Manoah, who is their ace. He's 1-1 with a 5.13 ERA and a 1.56 WHIP, and he's only averaging 5 innings pitched on the season. Now, he is going up against Luis Castillo tonight, who is the ace for the Seattle Mariners, but I just think at some point, Alek Manoah is going to have to figure it out. He's going to put a goose egg on the board, and he's going to shut a team out. He did have a strong outing against the New York Yankees. He went 7 innings. He gave up 0 earned runs, but he got the no decision in that. He also, previous to that, he gave up 7 earned runs to Tampa. So he's given up 5 and then 0. He's given up 3 and 7 and then 0. He's starting to find his way a little bit. That last win, again, he went 7 innings in the Bronx against the Yankees. I think he's starting to figure it out. Yankees are a much better team than Seattle so far early in this season. So I look for him to start stringing it together. This is a guy who's going to be in the Cy Young conversation, 16, 17 wins. For him to be at 1-1 after 5 starts, he's going to have to start stringing these together a little bit. So I look for that to occur tonight. Jays are rolling. Jays are at home. It's actually, are they on the road? Yeah, no, this game is at Skydome. And I look for them to keep that going. So I'm taking the Toronto Blue Jays -115 on the money line. That is at DraftKings. There is your card for this Friday. Give me the Los Angeles Lakers to close out the Grizzlies, -4. That's -105 at Pinnacle Sports. Give me the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild to go under 5.5 for -130 at DraftKings. And give me the Toronto Blue Jays on the money line, -115 also at DraftKings. As always, feel free to drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Conium for more picks and props throughout the day. I do have some more bets coming at you, including a +500 parlay. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portions. Audio is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Have a great Friday. Let's kick this weekend off right, and let's talk sports.